we are back with the Polaris RZR Turbo S, and you've already seen me with this thing out on the trails here in Colorado, but today we're at IMI Motorsports here on the dirt track. And in this video, I'm gonna tear around this track. We're gonna figure out the absolute best way to launch this thing for the best 0 to 60 time we can get, and then I'm gonna go catch some air, so stay tuned. This is the heart of the beast right here. This is a nearly 1000cc engine. Of course it's turbocharged, and it puts out 168 horsepower. So right here is what makes this Turbo S such a beast. These are 32-inch tires. These things are massive, and then it's really all about the suspension. So up here we have 25 inches of usable wheel travel thanks to these guys. These are Fox Live Valve 3.0 shocks, and they're actually fully adjustable from inside the cockpit. You hit a button and you can go from soft to firm and then really stiff, and that just totally changes the way this thing rides. So today we're out here on this dirt race course, essentially a motocross track, and of course it's really different from being on the trails. Here we have a lot of tight turns, a lot of little steep jumps, and you know, it really highlights the handling of this machine. Now the first thing I want to say is 168 horsepower is a ton of power, and in two-wheel drive this thing is so controllable with your right foot. As you're coming around corners, you can just lay into the throttle, really hang the back end out, but then the beauty is 72 inches wide. This thing is so wide that you never ever feel like you're gonna roll over. It's actually kind of unbelievable. And some of these sharp turns, nail the throttle, it comes right around on you, get out of it a little bit, it hooks up, and then you can take off in a straight line. So then of course you have the adjustability of the suspension. So out on the trails, I love running in comfort because I want sort of maximum absorption from the suspension. But here on the track, I've been running in sport mode. That's the mid-level mode, because then the shocks stiffen up a little bit. You get a little bit more nice feeling in your steering wheel, and you know, the handling just feels a little more precise. You know, the thing leans a little bit less. And out here on what is essentially a smooth race course, you don't have to worry about the suspension really, you know, eating up bumps or rocks or whoops or whatever. Another thing really highlighted out here on this race course was the brakes, because I'm kind of, you know, flying around corners, then laying on the brakes, getting into that next corner. And for a machine that weighs over 2,000 pounds, the dry weight here is just a hair under 2 grand. This thing actually stops really well, even on the dirt, and that's just a testament to the grip of the tires. Okay guys, here comes a real 0 to 60 on dirt with the Turbo S. Now I want to find out what the absolute fastest way to launch this thing is, so we're going to try the different modes. We're starting off comfort suspension, 2-wheel drive. I'm going to do a little bit of preloading. We're going to take off, and I have the Solo DL hooked up, so we're going to get an accurate 0 to 60. Let's see how she does. We're in high. Let's go. So there it is. 8.53. That's an 8.53. That was 2-wheel drive, and there was lots of wheel spin off the line. So I think 4-wheel is definitely gonna hook up a little bit faster than that. Let's go do it again. So here's one of the breathers right here for this Turbo S, but don't forget, in Colorado where we are, we're a mile above sea level, so the air is thinner, so no doubt that this machine has been struggling to breathe a little bit. Now, we did the exact same 0 to 60 run on the same course with the Polaris RS1, and you can watch that video. I'll throw a link right up here in the corner, and I'm not gonna tell you exactly what that time was, but I will tell you it's a little bit slower than this turbo. Okay, we're leaving the suspension in comfort. We're going to 4-wheel drive, so less wheel spin this time. Same thing, preload to about 3,500, 4,000 RPM, and then we're gone. Here we go. There it is. That's a 778. 778. So you do put it in four-wheel drive, and this thing does get quicker off the line because there's less slippage, of course. And don't forget to read all about this Polaris RZR Turbo S. Head over to tfloffroad.com. All right, so now we'll see if the suspension makes a difference. We've established four-wheel drive, quicker off the line. We're gonna go to sport mode. That's the mid-level, so a little bit stiffer. This actually might help us hook up too. We're back at 0. Let's see if we can beat 778. Here we go. Keep getting faster. That's a 753. That's a 753. That was four-wheel drive sport suspension. So now we're gonna go to the last setting, four-wheel drive firm suspension. That's the stiffest this thing can be, and I think it's actually gonna be the fastest as well. Let's try it. Firm suspension, four-wheel drive. Let's see if we can beat. I'd love to beat 7 seconds. Here we go. That's a 789. A 789. Which is actually a little slower. So apparently, I don't know if my launch wasn't great there, but apparently the fastest way to launch this thing, at least for me, sport mode, four-wheel drive. That's where I got the most hookup and the best time. So if you want to have some fun like I did today, go to imimotorsports.com. The link will be right here and in the description. Use the code TFL for a 10% discount. So I definitely caught some air today, guys, but I want to talk to you just about jumping a little bit in this Turbo S. Now, first of all, this is a motocross track, so a lot of the jumps here are really kind of steep at the end, so I kept popping the back end. Now, thankfully, the wheelbase here, 117 inches, is so long that even when the back end came up on me, it never really felt like it wanted to come all the way over. Of course, if I really hit it with speed, maybe it would have, but I'm not sure if that was just the jumps or if it was, you know, me. I'm not a jumping expert by any means, so I was trying to kind of pop the throttle and get the thing going, but this Turbo S just didn't want to fly flat for me, but I still did get it to fly. And out here on this track, it was an absolute monster, ripping through the dirt corners, going over those berms, catching a little bit of air. This machine is just an absolute ton of fun. So as always, guys, come back to TFL Off-Road, hit subscribe for the latest news, views, and real-world reviews. See ya.